You remember the incident that happened with Nwabali, keeping towels by the goalpost just so he could have his gloves consistently dried. Also putting into perspective that the entire Nations Cup came with plenty of rain, even yesterday during the final. You know, if Nigeria were to be a real footballing nation, issues like this would have been raised or maybe even tackled immediately as it was happening. Now, here are a few videos that took place yesterday. The same ugly incident, the same unhealthy antics that the Moroccans played with Nigeria and got away with it. The Senegal never allowed it. Those things that happened yesterday wouldn't have happened with a Nigerian team. Because firstly, Nigeria is not a footballing nation. I keep saying it. Maybe we used to be, but we've lost that passion. Other people went to the Nations Cup with fans. Nigeria went with content creators. We did not go with fans. We went with people with tripods and phones who just went there to take pictures and create content. So even when we needed to do what we needed to do, nobody was there to do it. Now, the incident that happened with the coach yesterday wouldn't have happened with Nigeria, calling out their players to back off and let the game end like that. It wouldn't have happened. And you could see the role that El Hadji Diouf played in that matter. El Hadji Diouf probably got a call from, if not the president of Senegal, for that game to continue. When Nigeria is playing football, where do you see our ex-international? What role are they playing? Some are going the capacity, in their personal capacity. Some are going as CAF ambassadors. Some are going as brand ambassador to products that are sponsors of the Nations Cup. It is only when politics is happening in Nigeria that they beg our ex-international to come and campaign, like what they did with Daniel Mokachi during the last election. You would have thought that the role he played in supporting the current administration, he was going to be like the sports minister, or maybe something or National Sports Commission chairperson. But today, after helping the government to come into power, Omokachi has returned to be a commentator. Now, that is how we use our ex-international here in Nigeria. But you could see El Hadji Diouf, how pivotal he was to what happened yesterday between Morocco and the Senegal. And another thing I want to tell you, just in case you think what they did was ugly, football was not represented. No. Sometimes you beat people to their own game. Yes. Sometimes you beat people to their own game. They wanted to do what would have been a great injustice to what was already a good game yesterday. But you see that time that the Senegal went into the dressing room as a way of protest was what cost Brahim Diaz that penalty. That lacuna, that space, that time where everybody was arguing, people were making calls, inquiries were coming in, decisions were made. You see that small time, everybody who has the technicality and right to play good penalty in Morocco was already confused about what to do. That's why if you notice, El Nasri, the Fenerbahce striker, the former Sevilla striker, had first positioned himself to take that penalty. But something was have told him, who knows if they are going to analyze where I played my penalty against Nigeria. So they wanted to pull a surprise package. They say Diaz should come and play it because they felt that maybe the goalkeeper will not be aware of what Diaz can offer when it comes to penalty. But that's an experienced goalkeeper, a man who has won golden gloves in Europe, not even in Africa. Won the Champions League with Chelsea, became number one at some point. And he did to Ibrahim Diaz what he did to Aguero some time back when he was a Chelsea player and Aguero was a Man City player. Then Panenka, and he stood there, held it like it never happened. So you see, sometimes when people want to cheat you, they make you look like you are a nice person, you are a classy person. Bro, the kingdom of the God suffered violence, and violence taketh it by force. You see this classy nature, this suffering and smiling nature. It is why we have not also been able to demand accountability from our government right here in back home. Where people treat us anyhow, we don't have the right to protest, we cannot do anything, we cannot demand, even when we are being beaten, even when we are down, they still hit us so hard. And we still maintain calmness, like, oh, we are classy people, we are nice people. How are we classy? How are we nice? Are we classy in poverty? Are we nice in misery? Senegal showed yesterday, they took Nwabale's towel. There is no Nigeria football official that raised an eyebrow, that went there to struggle the towel from them. But Senegalese footballers, fans, officials made their argument. They held the towel. They ran with the towel. They provided Mendy with the towel whenever he needed the towel. Now, if you think that was not an antique, do you know the amount of distraction that does to a goalkeeper? While you are focused on what is happening on the pitch, right behind you, people are fighting for towel. You could see your official being chased down by security. And the worst part, even footballers. There was one that it was Hakimi, the captain of Morocco, was the person who took the towel and threw it out. And Diop, the guy who had the altercation with Diaz, quickly jumped through the advertisement board to return the towel. Then there was another incident when Senegalese official held the towel and he was being chased. Now, these same things happen to Nigeria, but because we went with content creators, because we went with officials that were not paid, they felt they couldn't even do extra for the nation because even the one that they do that, they owe them. They allow it to happen. So when people tell you Nigeria is a footballing nation, we are not. We are not a footballing nation. If we are a footballing nation, another way you will know, we had players who played fantastically this season, this Nations Cup. By the time the transfer season is opening at the end of the season, we should see them making upward movement. This Nwabale, this our goalkeeper. If we are a footballing nation, clubs from Europe will come. Bassi should be playing for a club like Man City, Chelsea, Man U, even Real Madrid after this tournament. Bruno, the guy that plays for Olympiacos, should get a move all away from Greece to maybe England, Italy, Germany. Osayi should not leave Fenerbahce and go to a relegation team in Premier League with what he offered in this tournament. Bright Osayi. He shouldn't. Now, the effect of a footballing nation reflects on their players every now and then. It is not just the club team that makes players make a transfer. Your country sometimes affects because the quality of football you have back home can tell on your transfer. That's what happened to players from a footballing nation. They don't just come and play well and they remain where they are. You just be like person where they perform for your office, they perform for your office. Promotion, no, they did. You know, go church, go check whether that's a spiritual issue. You go check because you know it is not normal that you perform everywhere and there is no upward promotion. That's what happens to a footballing nation. So when people tell Nigeria is a footballing nation, tell them no. And you see that thing Senegal did. In fact, that was how this their new president came in. They got tired of the old ones. They stood their ground, protested, and delivered an election that today Africa is proud of. This young man that is ruling them now, it is this kind of attitude that produced him. They stood their ground as a nation. And when it was time for leadership and Diop spoke to Mane, let the guys come in. Mane said, make una come. They came because they don't have division. If na Nigeria, some go say we dey go, some say we no dey go. The same behavior of APC and PDP, Yoruba and Igbo and Hausa will happen even on the field of play. You will see disunity there on the field of play because we are never good at following people. We are never good at having good leaders. So this is me. I like to marry football with life. I like to marry football with reality. And what I saw yesterday is exactly what Nigeria lacks, both politically and both footballing wise. We lack it. If we protest here, they shoot us down. That is why we are not even used to protest again. Even when we are being cheated that side, we can no longer speak. Because where we are coming from, once we speak, somebody goes down. They have killed the spirit of protest in us. And they say we are a footballing nation. We are not a footballing nation. What we have, we don't have fans. We have content creators. We don't have fans. We are not yet a footballing nation. Where we are, we will know. Thank you.